Hi, Dom here from F1 UK, back again after a bit of a break with our Sunday surfs. I've been away on holiday. Just before I went, I received my new F-ONE frigate to try some para winging, which is what this video will be about. I finally managed to get out a few times on it, so I want to talk you through my experiences, hopefully give you some advice and certainly share some advice that I've been given. And just generally give you a bit of an overview of what the whole thing's about. Not really a sales video, more a bit of advice and an overview of the sport. So I finally received my frigate. I got myself a 4-meter. Been waiting for these for quite a while. I received it, then there was no wind, then I went on a holiday, but I came back and I've had, I think, 5 sessions now on it. And as I mentioned earlier, I just want to take you through kind of what I've discovered. So it was an interesting one for me because I love my winging, I love my kiting, I like all foiling in general, and I wasn't really quite sure where the para winging was going to fit in. I've obviously heard what everyone's saying about how it's great, how it's so free, but I've now discovered myself. I can confirm it's pretty addictive and it certainly ticks a lot of boxes, and I can share some information about who it might be for as I go through the video. So it's really nice to come in at the very entry level of a sport. I mean, it's only really been around for a few months. UK sometimes takes a bit longer to get hold of these things, but I think over the past 6 months or so, quite a few people have got involved, early adopters, and I've been able to question some of those guys that I deal with in my daily job, you know, some of the dealers, and get some advice before I actually went for my first session. Some good ones. Jimmy from the Foiling Collective, he gave me probably the best piece of advice, which was don't let go of the bar. You know, these para wings come with lots of bridle lines and stuff which can look super intimidating when you start, but his advice really was don't let go of the bar, and it can't get that tangled, and it's an absolute gem. So I suggest that you remember that if you do start your para winging campaign. Dan from the King of Water Sports, he's really into it. He's attained a good level already, and his advice was basically don't wear a watch. I didn't listen to his advice. I had a short arm wetsuit on, I wore my watch, and everything got tangled up straight away. So I think that's a good one. Anything that could get tangled will get tangled, so just think about those things before you get going. Christopher Sidon down in Cornwall, he was really helpful in his positivity. He hadn't, you know, been doing it that long, and he's already doing like 40k runs, so that was a really good motivation to crack on and try and make some progress in the sport. And then you have people like Steph and Guy Bridge down at Edge Water Sports, Freddie and Liam from the podcast, who are all really early adopters and have made some really quick progress in the sport. So it's good to have those people around, and their advice was really invaluable when I was struggling for that first kind of half an hour of my first session. So yeah, take some advice, watch some videos, listen to what people are saying, and then go for it. Equipment wise, I obviously had my 4.0 frigate. I paired it up to start with my downwind board, an 80cm mast and a 7Cs 1500, because that's what I had from learning or trying to learn to downwind paddle, and it seemed like a good choice. Bit of float in the board, bit of length for stability, and then a big foil. I launched the wing. It was quite windy. It was like 20 to 25 knots, and I was amazed by the power. That was the first thing that I'd noticed. I'd held a few wings on the beach before, a few para wings on the beach, but this was quite a powered up day, and I took to the water and I thought, oh my god, this is going to be a mission. 10 minutes in though, I was on my feet and then starting to get my first runs on foil, and actually by the end of my 2-hour session, I was making some jibes, doing some extremely messy free flies where I was trying to stow away the wing a little bit. There'll probably be some pictures on this video, but there were a lot of crashes to start with, lots of wipeouts, and lots of relaunches. But that was useful as well, because despite coming up after my first crash and thinking, oh my god, this thing is never going to fly again, it's so twisted up and messed up, because I didn't let go of the bar, couple of minutes thinking about where it is, what's gone wrong, what hasn't gone wrong, and these things just come back up again. And that was a real takeaway from the first hour of the session, is that actually you can fall quite badly and these wings will relaunch quite nicely and get you going again. And that was I didn't think that was going to happen. I thought it was just going to be a nightmare. It's not, so that's not something to worry about really. Just don't let go of the bar. So I had a couple more sessions on that setup. So the big downwind board, 1500 7Cs, 4 meter frigate. It soon became quite obvious, like I had some decent swell, and it soon became quite obvious that 7Cs in the 1500 at least was going to be a bit too big. We had quite a big northeasterly swell come down. The power in the wing was fine, but actually I dropped into a couple of swells and I thought, oh my God, I'm going to explode. And it made me think, well, maybe I should be trying a smaller foil, which I didn't think I would get to that stage quite so quickly. But the next time I went out was on my mid-length 6.2, which is 95 litres, and I took an Eagle 1090. I was a bit apprehensive because it's quite a big step down, but instantly everything became easier. I had a good breeze, there's no problem getting on foil, the board was stable, and I know it quite well from my winging on it, and I made loads of progress in that session. I'd also been watching some more videos and listening to what people were saying. And one of the key things was obviously to find a good swell. And when you get on it, relax and take your time, think about what you're doing with packing up the power wing. Now that works sometimes, other times I was just getting myself into a huge mess, but there was a very obvious and quite quick progression to the point where by the end, I think, of my 4th session, I was getting some pretty long rides, you know, 200-300 meter rides, and managing to redeploy the wing again as well. I definitely think a Gladiator foil helped because it gave me more time to be on foil, not quick, I've got to be over there, I've got to be on that section, this foil isn't quite glidey enough, or whatever the problem was. To have the right foil on the right swell gave me time just to chill out, think about what I was doing and pack things up. Of course, it's like learning anything new. You're thinking about 3 things at a time. Nothing's automatic yet, and it takes a while to settle. But yeah, by the end of session 4, I was packing things up a little bit neater and actually getting some good rides, and that's where the fun starts to really come in. For the first time, I was getting some open sea glides under control, looking about where I wanted to go, turning back out to sea and riding swells kind of out to sea as well as back towards the shore. And that was kind of the lightning bolt moment where you just thought, oh my God, there is so much potential for this. You've seen loads of videos, people talking about the same thing. Sorry to repeat it, but yeah, there is so much scope in the sport of power winging, especially for the UK shores. Yeah, give it a go if you're interested in riding swells. I guess it kind of leads us on to ask the question, who's the sport of power winging or pocket winging for? When I wing, or when I foil, or when I do anything on a foil, it's generally to try and find some swells or some waves to ride. I got to the stage with winging where pretty much was just doing upwind runs and then free flying downwind, quite far out to sea, just to see how long I could glide for. So I know there's lots of people in the same camp, and if you're one of them, then the freedom that the power wing will give you will just enhance your experience. It's not that difficult to learn. Like I said, the first 20 minutes, you're going to think, oh my God, what have I done? What have I got myself into? But actually, after the first couple of sessions and then thinking about what you're doing, watching some videos, listening to what people are saying, your level will improve quite quickly. And it's been a while since I've had something that I lie in bed about at night thinking, oh my God, I can't wait for another 20 to 25 knot day. Yeah, it's just addictive, and I can see as the autumn progresses that, you know, getting a smaller wing, using the same board of foil, but a smaller wing and bigger swell is going to be even more fun. Presumably the wing will be easier to pack away, and the swell is going to be bigger and therefore more defined and easier to ride. So yeah, if you're in that camp of really just looking to ride swells all the time wherever you can, then definitely think about getting a power wing or having a go on one. It's probable that your existing wing kit will be fine to learn on. You know, I think a wing board might be a little bit small to be ideal, but you'll be used to it, and quite quickly, if you have enough power in your wing, you'll be getting up on foil. And once you're on foil, then you'll already know what it feels like because you've used it so much on your wing. So yeah, definitely don't be afraid of it. Is it going to stay? Yes, it definitely is going to stay. And is it going to be a valuable addition to your quiver? 100%. It's so much fun, and we're only really scratching the surface, I think, at the moment. So I did say it wouldn't be a sales video, but I think it would be kind of remiss for me not to say that I have been learning on the frigate. Only that the guys at F-ONE stated quite clearly when the para winging thing first started to come about, that they would wait. They were interested in it, but they would wait until lots of the other brands had released their products to see where the issues were, to see what the limitations were with the early models, and then release something that kind of answered all the questions, which is what they have done with the frigate. So I may have had a bit of a leg up there because the product's good, but having said that, I know there's lots of people that are having just as much fun on their older models, just have to find different ways to solve any problems that they've got. But yeah, the frigate is definitely a nice product, and I should imagine the other brands will catch up eventually with their V2s. But yeah, it's quite widely known that the frigate's good. There's loads of reviews on it, so yeah, it's a good one to start with for sure. Just to round off really, what summer it's been amazingly windy, it's been super warm, I think the warmest on record, so that's a good combination for us water lovers. Autumn started with a bang. I wanted to film this outside, but it's about 50 knots today, horizontal rain outside, but again, it's still warm. It provides lots of opportunities for us, and there's like wind for the next 2 weeks, it looks like. So yeah, the UK seems to be turning into quite an adventure playground, and the addition of all these new sports is only going to help us enjoy ourselves. Winter is coming, it's just around the corner. Heads up that we've got our Monera.co.uk website along with our dealers. They will have stacks of winter suits from Monera available at really good prices, so it's worth having a little look around if you're looking for a new suit. We've got the gloves in, we've got the boots in, the hoods and everything else. Yeah, that's enough for me. Speak to you next time. Have fun out there. Cheers.